Welcome back, Tiger sports fans, to another episode of Tiger Sports Nation. I'm your host, Katie Moore.
And I'm Tessa Coker, and we are going to get you caught up on Tiger sports from this past week.
The DePauw Tigers football team made a statement on Saturday when they defeated Maryville 45-20 at home in the second round of the Division III NCAA playoffs. In true DePauw fashion, several records were broken on Saturday. I want to start with quarterback Nathan McCahill. He threw for 322 yards and 2 touchdowns. McCahill's career touchdown total moved to 86, which broke the previous record of 85 previously held by Matt Hunt. Now on to Robbie Ballantyne. He had 9 receptions on Saturday for a career-high 194 yards and 2 touchdowns. Those two added to his season total of 19 receiving touchdowns, which broke the NCAC record and extended his DePauw mark. Carson Johnson, he led the Tigers in rushing yards with 69 and had 1 touchdown. Caden Whitehead, he added 50 rushing yards along with 2 touchdowns.
DePauw's defense was led by Jonathan Bruder and Luke Marsh, who each collected 8 tackles. Marsh also had a team best of 1.5 tackles for loss. Christian Troop had the Tigers' 1 interception of the game.
Matthew Berry kicked 6 PATs on Saturday, and all 6 were good. He also kicked a 31-yard field goal. Berry's 93 total points this season is the most by a DePauw kicker in program history, breaking the previous program record of 90. That wasn't the only record he broke. His 69 extra points made this season is now an NCAC record. The Tigers now advance to the 3rd round of the playoffs, which is the Sweet 16. They will host Johns Hopkins on Saturday at noon.
The women's basketball team opened play last week on Tuesday. They hosted Albion and won 60-50. Ava Hassel led the Tigers with 17 points and a career-high 7 steals. Diana Berger scored 10 points and led DePauw with a career-best 12 rebounds for a double-double. The Tigers played in the Midwest Challenge this past weekend in St. Louis. They played Illinois Wesleyan first on Saturday, but fell 65-59. They played Rose Holman next in the tournament on Sunday and had a definitive 90-37 victory. Ainsley Boris and Olivia Hart led DePauw with 11 points each. Boris also led in rebounds with 10 for a double-double, and Lily Hunsinger led with 3 assists. The Tigers will return to action on Wednesday when they travel to Denison for an NCAC matchup at 5:30 p.m.
The men's basketball team played at Illinois Tech last Wednesday but lost 72-69 in overtime. Ref Stevenson led the Tigers with 15 points and 5 rebounds. Andre Oslowski also had 5 rebounds in the game. Kyle Lilowitz added 14 points and led with 3 assists. Eli Ellis had a career-high 11 points and led DePauw with 4 steals. The Tigers play next on Wednesday for a huge rivalry game. The tip-off against Wabash is scheduled for 7 p.m.
And that's it for Tiger Sports this week. Now it's time for Hot Topic, where we talk about something from the Tiger sports world or the greater sports world that we just can't stop thinking about. Katie?
It's all football this week. What a big week for the Tigers, winning the second round of the NCAA playoffs at home here in Blackstock. I want to go back to Nathan McCahill. Again, a huge congratulations. 86 career touchdowns, now holds the program record. That's super exciting. His 322 passing yards on Saturday moved his career total to 3,176, which is just 4 shy of that program record. So I'm sure we'll see that fall on Saturday. I want to talk about the senior class, which is also McCahill's class. He's a senior. They extended their 4-year mark to 39-6, which is the most wins by a DePauw class in history. But that's not the last program record I want to talk about. I also want to mention they've scored 573 points just this season. And not only is that a DePauw program record, but that's also an NCAC conference record. So huge game, lots of records that fell. I kind of want to explain the Sweet 16, though, real quick. So the last time DePauw made it to the Sweet 16 was in 2021. They beat Rose Holman in the first round and then traveled to Wisconsin Whitewater for the second round. And every year except for this one, the second round was a Sweet 16. And we've kind of explained how playoffs work this year. So in years prior, it's just been a 32-team playoff. It's now a 40-team playoff. So the first round was more of a play-in game. Again, the Tigers had to bye this first round, won the second round, making this third round on Saturday, the Sweet 16, when in years prior, the Sweet 16 fell in the second round. So that's just kind of a little history of the playoffs. Not the first time DePauw's been to the Sweet 16, but it's just a different round this year with a bigger playoff bracket.
23 DePauw Tigers were named All-NCAC football honors this week. Quarterback Nathan McCahill was named the conference's Offensive Player of the Year. Joining him on that first-team offense, we have players Caden Whitehead, Robbie Ballantyne, Gabe Quigley, Zach Kerr, Tommy Martin, Aiden McCormick, and Bennett Smith. As for the defensive side, we have linebacker Jonathan Bruder getting Defensive Player of the Year, and joining him on that first-team defense, we have Jake Comer, Joey Rowland, Luke Marsh, Ethan Lowry, Matthew Coons, and Nolan Tolley, which is just an absolutely huge group for those first teams on both sides there.
Yeah, and it didn't stop there. So second team defense was David Gould, Luke Nolan, and Christian Troop. Second team offense was Rylan Watkins and Leighton Lukowski. And then we also had some DePauw Tigers on the special teams all-conference list. Second team, Matthew Berry, kicker. And then third team was Ben Gomez and Carson Johnson. So again, 23 Tigers earning all NCAC honors. Those pages were covered in black and gold. I want to say a couple shout outs to these guys. This is the second year in a row that the DePauw Tigers have had the Defensive Player of the Year. Ethan Lowry was that guy last year. He's still first team this year, so that's super awesome. Again, looking at the all NCAC defense, all 4 DePauw Tiger linebackers were on that first team defensive team, which is super impressive. And honestly, I think every D lineman could have and should have been on that first team. David Gould and Luke Nolan surely had the stats to be on that first team. Still a super awesome honor to be second team. This list is decided before the playoffs. So Matthew Berry was a second team specialist. He was on the All-NCAC second teams for special teams, but he broke that NCAC record in the playoffs, so that didn't quite count for the All-NCAC honorees, but I still think he probably had the stats to be first team too. So this is a huge, huge win for the DePauw Tigers. I'm so excited. Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year. We just heard today about the AFCA All-America team. Gabe Quigley, first team All-American there as a tight end. So a huge congrats to him. But I think that's going to do it for Tiger Sports this week. We could probably talk about the football team for the next hour, but we're going to leave it right there with these stats. So that's it for Tiger Sports Nation this week. Once again, I'm Katie Moore.
And I'm Tessa Coker. And as always,
Roll Tigs!